We're no stranger to crafting here on North Dakota Today, and neither are the owners of Raybon Sew and Quilt Shop. Sandy and Jennifer join us today to talk about their shop. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So, gosh, first of all, this is gorgeous. This was the first thing I saw when you came in. You guys do amazing work.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes.
That is fantastic. Now, one of the things we wanted to talk about, for those who have never heard of Quilt Sampler, can you tell us about that magazine and why is it important to you?
So it's a magazine that's put out for quilters. You enter to be in the magazine. They pick the top 10 shops twice a year. So we sent our entry in a while back, and they get like 3,000 entries at a time, and so they pick the top 10 out of that. And then we have to design a quilt to put in the sampler along with the instructions so people can make it. Jennifer designed the quilt.
Wow.
I think you designed 3 different ones that we sent in because they choose which one they want to use from there.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, and is this the quilt?
So this is the quilt. This is the one that'll actually be pictured in the magazine that comes out September 9th when they'll have a feature on us being one of the top 10 shops.
How does that feel?
That's really exciting. I've designed quite a few patterns that we sell in the shop, but this will be my first time published nationally, so super exciting.
So how did you get involved with Quilt Sampler? Did you send in the pictures then?
We sent in, Jennifer.
We send in an application, so they ask a ton. They want to know about like the history of the shop. They want lots of pictures of your shop so that they can get an idea without having to travel, you know, all around the US and Canada to see all of the shops. They want to get a good handle on what do the shops look like so they can pick the best of the best.
And then after they've picked the shop, then they send a photographer in and they take pictures of your store. So we close for a day so they could take pictures. They do a phone interview, so she called and interviewed us and asked us all kinds of questions to add to what we'd already submitted in the application.
I would love if you could tell me, I don't know a lot about quilts, although I'm an avid crafter, but could you tell us about this piece? It is absolutely beautiful, and now that I'm looking at it, it is not, probably would be easiest, I assume, is very linear stitching, and some of these are meant to be a little bit different.
I kind of incorporated 2 of my favorite things. I really love improv piecing, which means you start out with kind of a basic idea of where you're going, but you just kind of stitch randomly, so improv.
Sounds like my thing.
And I think it's fun because even if you do the same pattern, your quilt is not going to look just like mine. And then the other thing I really like is flying geese blocks. So that's where you have a big triangle and 2 little triangles on there. And so did a lot of flying geese. And I'll actually be teaching some classes in the shop to make this. So I know sometimes for quilters, flying geese can be a little intimidating because it's difficult to keep all those points on your triangles. So I've got some great tips how you can get perfect flying geese. And so I'll be teaching that in the shop in September and October so people can make their very own quilt just like the magazine.
So did you create this full design then, or did you go off of maybe a pattern that you've seen somewhere else?
I created the full design. Yep,
Gosh,
created the full design, and then we've got this one. Teals are my favorite color, so I of course had to incorporate that. Sandy's much more a fan of reds and things like that, and so she's done another colorway version of this quilt as well. So you have to stop in the store to see that other version.
One of the things that I love most about quilting, I have a lot of friends and family that do quilting, is the way that you're able to incorporate different patterns, but the whole thing still looks cohesive. Do you have any quick tips for our friends at home about doing that?
I think it's just you have a lot of, we always say a pattern is a guide. So use that to kind of get your eyes, but you can always mix it up. Maybe you're incorporating some of that improv piecing with a traditional block. It's your different colorways. You know, there's lots of different ways you can make something unique.
And even if you took these blocks and you just twisted them in different ways and put them together in different angles and stuff, you're still going to have that base, but you're going to have a whole different look.
Wow. Well, this is absolutely beautiful work. You guys did fantastic. I'm so excited for you and your nomination.
Thank you.
How can people see the feature?
So we'll have magazines in the shop. They go to the newsstand September 9th, so we should have them in then.
Right, and so they can pre-order magazines, they can come in and pre-order kits in either colorway. We also did, if you didn't want a full quilt, we did a tabletopper version of it too, so you can still, we say, have a piece of us but not have to make it real big. And then there's some bonus patterns with the quilt and stuff that we've designed as well. So lots of different options, but we've got it all on display in the shop so they can pop in and take a look.
Wow, and probably learn a lot from you guys as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you get down to Raybon Sew and Quilt Shop. If you have any questions about quilts or crafting anything like this, they're the experts. So reach out to them. But stay with us. Talking about another form of recreation, we're going to Bully Pulpit Golf Course up next.